All right. And we're back once again with the illustrious, the almighty Titan PJ.
Good evening, Card.
You look much better today.
Oh yeah, no choppy video this time.
Sweet, sweet. So, as you can see, we're going to be talking about the TV show, Marvel's TV show, Hawkeye.
Yep.
Some Bungie and some Destiny. But before we get into any of that, let's talk about something that's a little more serious.
Okay.
About 5 days ago, a 7-year-old was reported missing in, I believe it was New Hampshire.
Okay.
And her name is Haley Montgomery. And her mother reported her missing to both the mayor and the police. And they started searching for her and her father, who had sole custody at the time. Turns out that no one has seen the child for 2 years, since October of 2019.
Before you go further, the fact that a child's been missing for 2 years is asinine. Ridiculous.
Well, it is. And the thing is, nobody reported her. Nobody said anything straight. Her grandparents on either side never said anything. None of her relatives, her schools, nobody reported this girl as MIA. It wasn't until the mother got out of a drug rehab and wanted to reconnect with her daughter and couldn't find her or her whereabouts that she got in touch with the mayor and the police department and said, there's something seriously wrong here. Because the last non-family members to see the child was on the last day she was seen, and that was October 2019. She was seen by CPS, Child Protective Services, and the town police. I forget which county it was. It might even be Montgomery County. And they went out to do a wellness check because her great uncle reported that the father was, quote, bashing the kid around. So they went out and checked, and that was it. They never made a return trip.
Okay.
It makes no sense. How could you, for 2 years, let a kid like that slip through the cracks?
Should never happen. Especially the school system. Why isn't she? You would think, why isn't she coming to school?
Well, see, a lot of people are going, yeah, but that's just before COVID, so they wouldn't have known. No, bullshit. That's October. COVID didn't hit here until
January. Yeah.
So she would have been missing for 3 months before COVID hit.
It's sad.
The father was found living in his car with his new wife. He was arrested, and then 2 days later, she was arrested. He was arrested for the child abuse allegations from 2019. She was arrested for welfare fraud because she was using the child's on her food stamp case, even though she didn't have custody of the child. And when asked where it was, she just said, well, he took her out one day, said he was bringing her to relatives and came back without her, so I assumed he dropped him off at relatives. He didn't tell me anything different. And when they asked him, his answer is, I'm not saying nothing.
Of course not. The red flags everywhere on that.
Yeah,
That's...
There's a $60,000 reward for any information leading to the discovery of the whereabouts of little Haley. She went missing at 5 years old, and it wasn't even reported until she was 7.
What do you think? Do you think she's alive?
I personally think I've seen videos of the father and of the father's uncle. He was on a news channel doing an interview, and it looks like the whole family is either drug addicts or recovering addicts. So my theory is, if she's alive, he sold her for either drugs or drug money to someone, whether it be a trafficker, whether it be a family that really wanted a kid and he didn't want it anymore. And so he made some sort of financial arrangements. But if the child's alive, I think that's where the child went.
I would agree with that if it wasn't for me being hung up on him being abusive. My worry is child's upsetting him, he's abusive, had enough of it, and unfortunately we won't find Haley alive. That's my worry.
You don't believe the new wife's story of he left the house one day saying he was going to drop the kid off at her relatives?
I don't buy it. That's just to save her skin. I hate that. I hope I'm wrong. I hope she's alive. But Lord, just from what I know, Card, this is not good. And they're gonna eventually get him to cave, I think, and say where she is, alive or deceased. They'll get it out of him, I think.
Neighbors said they saw him digging in the backyard after she hadn't been seen. So he had sold the house since then. So the police got a judge to get a warrant, and they went and they spoke to the homeowner, and he even had no problem with it. Let him tear up the backyard and inside the house, and there's no sign of him. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
It just makes me wonder if he did cause her harm and kill her, where is she? Are there woods nearby? Is there a lake or a river nearby? Being a more rural part of the country, New Hampshire doesn't have a high population. So.
I would think that if, and this is only my twisted mind, but I would think that if he did something to her and he was going to dispose of the body, he wouldn't do it close to the house.
No, not at all. That was my first thing too.
Maybe there's some place that they used to like to go camping or visit or something that, but we don't have enough information as citizens to figure this whole thing, to put the pieces together yet.
Right. I just hope they find her alive. I hope though I don't buy it, I hope that the stepmom, for lack of a better word, was telling the truth.
Yeah. Well,
awful.
Yeah, it is, and we'll find out hopefully soon. What if anything they can get out of the father? Now the father, I believe he's got 2 felonies and a misdemeanor charge, and the stepmom or his new wife just has that charge of welfare fraud so far.
Oh, okay.
So far. Now, if situations and information changes, they may change that as well.
Yeah,
but right
that's
now,
it's just completely avoidable. Whole thing shouldn't have taken this long.
The part that bothers me the most is the school not knowing and CPS not following up on abuse, alleged abuse.
Yeah, because
the uncle said that he had called them out. I believe he said in April or July, somewhere around there, because he had seen little Haley with a black eye. Yeah. And then fast forward to October, the dad actually admitted to his own uncle that he bashes the kid around. Does things like makes her scrub the toilet with a toothbrush, or stand facing a wall for hours, even to the point where she had to relieve herself in her own pants because he wouldn't let her go away from the wall. And this is at 5 years old.
Protective Services should have taken her away from him, especially if that's being reported.
When the mom was sent to rehab, this is what I understand now. Don't quote me on this, but this is the information I've put together so far. When the mom was sent to rehab, Child Protective Services took the child and put it in foster care, and then somehow the father, who was an ex-felon, got sole custody of the child from foster care.
That's the first thing. Why? Why? You know he's a convicted felon. Why?
Yeah. There's too many unanswered questions right now. There's not enough information.
Definitely want to know where that goes, because that's just unreal.
Following that, yeah, it's. I mean, I have kids. I have 6 kids. Well, they're all grown up now. But if anything, if one of my kids was missing for 10 minutes, even if he was hiding behind the bathroom door, I'd be calling the cops.
Yeah.
You know, and you're talking about 2 years and nobody said anything.
It's all very, very suspect.
Now, I do understand that the father's uncle and his side of the family were at odds with the father and had to call the police in October because they needed to get some of their stuff out of the house, and because there was so much friction, they wanted a police escort.
Okay.
And so I could maybe understand that the grandparents not seeing the child because the dad says, screw you, pick me up, so I'm not. But there's just too many people. The neighbors, the schools, nobody.
Not one person knows where this girl is. That just doesn't.
Her doctors, her dentists, they didn't call and go, hey, look, we haven't seen her in 2 years. She needs vaccines or checkups or something.
No.
And it just, I don't understand how it's gone unnoticed all this time.
It's just mind-blowing, to be honest. There's just so many questions that need answering with this.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep. No, for sure.
Because I would love for her uncle said, until they have proof that she's not alive, she's alive.
Yeah. I believe you mentioned that would be Schrodinger's cat would be a good analogy.
Right. I mean, if you don't see her not being alive, she's alive. They say, well, she's already dead, but that's the thing. You don't see her, you don't know.
Right. It's just crazy. It's just all crazy. So.
Yeah. So let's, I'll follow up on that.
Yeah, we'll follow definitely up on this as things develop.
So, on to
a lighter topic.
Yeah. Yeah, on to a lighter topic. Hawkeye.
Great series. I loved it.
Here's what I wanted to discuss today. Not just Hawkeye, but all of the Marvel television shows that came out since WandaVision.
Okay.
Have you seen them?
I have seen WandaVision. I've seen, they changed it to Falcon. It was labeled Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier. And they changed it to Falcon and Winter Soldier. Hawkeye. What else am I missing? Besides, is it just the 3?
Loki.
I'm ready for season 2 of Loki.
Okay.
Loki was good.
So let's start at the beginning.
All right.
WandaVision. Wanda created her own reality
Yep.
because she was distraught over the loss of Vision from Endgame. Well,
Right.
actually,
Well, Infinity War. Yeah.
um, and she literally mentally held people hostage.
Yeah, she kind of went off the deep end with her grief, which
Well,
it really is. In my eyes, it's kind of mind blowing with her because we see her in Endgame. She's still a hero. Yeah, she's grieving, but she's with her friends, and she seems to be doing relatively okay.
right.
To get to this point where now we see Wanda is definitely not okay.
Well, I think in my opinion, here's what happened. She was okay because she was occupied with the confrontation at the time, with bringing everybody back, with getting, everything set back to the way it was. And then when all of that died down and she had time to reflect, is when she realized, oh my God, I lost, my one true,
Yeah.
and that's when it all started to sink in that, is this worth doing if, that this is the cost? And I think that's where she really started to break down mentally.
Yeah, and you can kind of see, and WandaVision was very interesting because up until kind of towards the end, you thought I forget her name at the moment, but the bet like the in her reality the friend and everything was the one that was controlling everybody, just to find out really it's Wanda that won't let go of everyone's will.
Right. Now,
but something very important happens at the end of that too. Seeing who she's. Yep, spoilers.
Spoilers, just to let you know, in case you haven't watched it from 6 months ago, which is your own fault.
Yep. We're seeing her become the Scarlet Witch.
well, yeah, she did develop her powers and discover her more powers.
Yeah.
Actually, not more powers, but the length of her powers, I would say, or the depth of her powers.
Yeah, how powerful she really is.
And that was because of who?
Vision?
Agatha.
Agatha, right, which was from Captain Marvel. Right? That's the aunt. No, Agatha, the other queen, the other witch, excuse me.
Yeah, Agatha yes. Harkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot her name. Okay.
Because it was Agatha all along.
Yep.
And, she brought all those, like Quicksilver, who was supposed to be her brother, but was actually the Quicksilver from the X-Men.
Yeah, it was really cool to see them cross over.
He turned out to be brainwashed, and his real name was Boner.
Yeah.
And her two children, who turn up, who grow in the, I don't want to say lore, but in the comic, what do they call that?
Canon.
Yes. Her two children are Magic, and I think he's called Speed.
Okay.
And they actually become part of, I think it's the Young Avengers.
Okay.
Or the Dark Avengers. One of those two. But there's also an episode, a series of comics called The House of M, where she has a down and she creates her own reality where there's no mutants and she has children. She has a child, at least a child, a baby. I remember that. And it turns out that um, she literally broke her brain and thought that this was all real.
Real.
And it's a big, long, entailed story. It's something to look into. But at the end of WandaVision, you can hear faintly in the background the kids' voices.
Yeah.
Help me, help me. So I'm wondering if they're going to try and bring the kids back in some form or another, even though, like I said, in the House of M, they were just a reality-bent illusion.
Yeah. Well, and have they confirmed a season 2 yet of WandaVision?
I don't recall. I want to say yes, but
Okay. I'll look it up later. We'll find out.
hold on one second.
Or not.
I'll look it up. Will there be plot and everything you need to know? And it looks like he was vague about a potential second season. Come on.
Because I want to know what happens to Vision, too.
There's a lot of movies that are coming out, too. Like Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel, which is no longer Captain Marvel Part 2. Okay. As of November of 2021, WandaVision Season 2 has not been confirmed.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to know what happens to Vision, too, because there's that small chance that he's going to come back.
Well, wait a minute. The White Vision?
Yes. Because he was real.
Correct. He was made by that shadow military.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they put him back together, put him in there, and then, like, the illusion Vision and Vision, after their little battle and everything, he kind of, I don't want to say downloads Vision, but for lack of better wording, he kind of remembers who he is. And now he's kind of self-aware and not doing what that military group wants, and you see him just kind of fade away. And now I want to know what happens to Vision.
The White Vision didn't fade away, right?
Well, he left. He left.
Yeah.
He was able to get out of that reality.
Right, which
bubble.
is kind of interesting because few people are allowed to go in and out.
Right.
One of them is Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
And the other one is, can't remember her name. Darcy.
Yeah, I believe Darcy. That sounds right.
Yeah.
The assistant from Thor, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. I love her in that show.
Oh yeah, she was great. She's hilarious.
And the FBI agent from Ant-Man that was in WandaVision. Yep.
What's his name? I always forget it. Hold on. I gotta look it up. Because he's just funny.
He is. And it was, while you're looking it up, I think it was great that the first thing they showed of him of substance was that he had mastered or almost mastered that trick that Scott had taught him with the card.
Yeah, actor's name is Randall Park.
Right,
but
and his character.
It doesn't say, which is really annoying.
I'm not
Yeah, let me
plugging it.
click it. Ant-Man and Wasp. Here, I can find it this way.
Ant-Man and Wasp cast.
Yeah.
Check.
Agent Wu. Agent Jimmy Woo.
Yes. And he was,
So-
he was, he was great in that role.
And him and her were kind of badass to get in there. Taking out the military guys and fighting their way in there was great.
Right. Darcy went in. She was brainwashed like everybody else, thinking that, this is a carnival or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I believe it was Vision, let her see the truth.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, shit, let me help you then.
Yeah.
Which is because I think most people would be like, nah, get me the fuck out of here.
Right. She's quirky and she's all about that stuff. So she was. They had the right people. I mean, that whole development of that whole show was just great, and it had some nostalgia to it with how they'd go from each decade. That was awesome.
Yeah, and the black and white and color. The way that they put that in so that, like when she found the helicopter and it was in color because it was something from outside that had come in.
Yeah.
And changed. It was what was it? It was a drone that changed into a toy helicopter.
Yep.
But because it had come from outside,
it was like red.
Yeah. So, that was a good setup. Now, the last scene, which I'm not going to super spoil, but I'll spoil some. The last scene somehow leads into Doctor Strange 2.
Right.
Now, the question is, because I haven't seen Strange 2, it hasn't been out yet or anything. The question is she going to be a villain or is she going to be on the side of Doctor Strange? Because we did find out during WandaVision that Wanda is a Nexus being.
Right. Which you'll have to, if you don't mind defining.
She's all powerful. She's super powerful. She's like the most powerful being in the universe. Also, she can't be erased.
Okay.
It's like a nexus point in a timeline. No matter how you spring off the timeline, that event has to happen.
Okay.
And that's what she is. She's like a nexus event. She has to be there. And no matter how you change the timeline, she's always going to be Wanda.
I see. And that makes me wonder if she can always be aware no matter how it changes, because she's that point. Is she always aware
that she lost vision?
Well, no, not that she necessarily lost vision, but she knows who she is no matter which timeline.
Yes, unless her brain breaks, then she'll just,
Yeah, but that's her own doing.
Right.
So. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And that didn't that lead into Loki?
No. Well,
in a way, because of the whole timeline stuff.
Yeah, I mean it was Loki, but Loki was after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That was after. Okay. Which Falcon and Winter Soldier, I liked.
Falcon and Winter Soldier were supposed to be after Black Widow, the movie.
Right.
And the introduction of the Baroness in Black Widow was supposed to be the first time we saw her, and then the explanation of her was supposed to come later on in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, because they were released before the movie was released.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. You and I were talking about that one night.
Yeah, because of the global pandemic, they had to switch their scheduling around.
Okay.
So, yeah. So our next, which should have been the next, but the next one in the order of when they came out is Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I thought that it was like a buddy cop movie on steroids. It was great.
Yeah. And the humor, like the little jabs at one another, was just great because even though they were brought together by Steve, they're still competing with each other always.
It's like they're brothers. It's like they're brothers. It's like, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. It's like they're brothers.
And they kind of overcome their inner problems, right? Like they both have their own little, I don't want to say demons, but things that are bothering them. Well, for Winter Soldier, definitely demons, but not so much for Falcon. But
Falcon did have his issues,
right?
For the boat and the racism that he was facing in the town that he grew up in, and the whole you're a superhero but you're nobody, which
right. But they both overcome those, and he finally embraces the end of Endgame. Steve picked him. He finally embraces it. Spoiler. My bad. But hey, again, like you said, 6 months. I mean, if you haven't seen it at this point.
Now, the Wakandan Women's Army.
Oh my gosh. They're ruthless.
I believe they're the ones that made him the Captain America suit.
I think, yeah, I believe so. I'm starting to think so, especially.
Two things bothered me during the show.
What bothered you?
One is that the sidekick of the new Captain America died. I thought he was a great character and should have been kept alive. And the other is finding out who the real villain was.
Yeah. Finding out who the real villain was, that stung a little bit.
And
I did not like it.
It also makes you go, okay, so then what exactly is she planning for the future? Something, that look that she gave at the end and that phone call that she made just makes you go, okay, who is she?
Who did she call?
Yeah.
Who do you think she called?
I am guessing, and this is just a guess, she called either Thunderbolt Ross or the Madam Hydra, the Baroness.
Okay.
That's just a guess.
It sucks, though, to see what is he called in the end? Agent.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent. It sucks because like he has good intention too.
I'm sorry, what?
He also has he has good intention. You can see he does have some good intention, but he's still bad. He has.
I don't think he had any good intention. I think what he had was loyalty to his partner. And his partner was the one who always reined him in. And without him, he had no one to rein him in.
And no control.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. I hated it. I won't lie. His character, I hated for a lot. But at the end, he was reined in by Falcon and Winter Soldier. And he does do the right thing.
He does do the right thing. That's correct.
I think if he's finally held in check.
But is it out of a sense of needing to do the right thing, or is it out of a sense?
It's a job.
More like a sense of self-awareness, not self-awareness, but it's self-preservation. It's if I don't appear to
Make himself not look as bad.
right. If people see me doing this, they'll never accept me as anything but bad. I have to do
But
something.
if they see me working with those guys, maybe I don't look so bad.
Right, because in the beginning he was taking on Carly and her team at the beginning of that end fight. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go help these guys instead. And I think it was because a crowd was gathering and seeing what was happening. And he said, I got to fix my image somehow.
Well, yeah, and I think Wyatt Russell does a great job filling him. Knowing his character in the comics and everything, I think he portrayed him well.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm going to jump back a second.
Okay.
There was a B storyline in this, and the B storyline was the disavowed black super soldier.
Okay.
And in the end, he was actually put into the Captain Rogers Hall, or Captain America Hall of Fame, or whatever.
Right.
At him. His son seemed awful into it, and he seemed awful proud of being put in and finally being recognized. Do you think that somehow one of them is going to face a call to action?
I don't think the older fellow will, but maybe that inspires. What was it? His grandson?
It was either his grandson or his nephew. I think it was his grandson.
I think it was his grandson too. I think it might kind of bring him to maybe he becomes like a Falcon-esque kind of hero in the future. He doesn't have superpowers, but he might have technology. He might train himself, go through the motions to become a hero.
Wait a minute, that throws a little wrench in the works because the guy that Falcon gave his suit to and says you can keep it, in the comics he becomes the new Falcon.
Even at his age?
Do you remember? No, remember the guy that Falcon gave the broken suit to? And he says, I can fix this. And he says, you can keep it.
Yes. Okay, yes.
In the comics, he becomes the new Falcon.
Oh, really? Okay, so he doesn't... So Falcon doesn't keep the wings?
No. Well, no. Remember, he got a brand new suit with wings.
Yeah, because with your theory that the Wakandans made it, so now he's like, keep the old wings. You think he fixes the old wings, becomes Falcon. Got it.
That techie guy from the military that was...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The one that originally discovered with the whole mask wearing. Yeah, I know what you're...
Kept asking, Steve, there's a rumor Steve Rogers is on the moon.
Moon, yeah.
Yeah, him. He in the comics he becomes the new Captain or the new Falcon. So
okay,
if and they did give him the suit,
right?
So then the question is, maybe this grandson becomes something else. Maybe a version of Captain Britain or something.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, it didn't say he had or he didn't have his grandfather's abilities. It never really addressed that.
No, it didn't. And that was going to be my question was, which we don't know with Steve Rogers either, with this super soldier serum, is that something that can be genetically passed?
Okay. I believe in the comics, Nick Fury is given the super soldier serum.
What?
Wait. But not the Nick Fury we know. the alternate reality Nick Fury, the white guy with the black and silver hair and the mustache and chomping on a cigar and an eye patch. And he passes that along to his son, Nick Fury Jr.
All right. So what you're saying is Steve lived his life, but he did more than that.
It's possible.
It's possible. So, and same thing with this grandson. So the super soldiers aren't dead.
No, which is funny. Now, we know that U.S. agent took one of the vials of soldier serum.
Yep.
Do we know if all the rest were destroyed, or if there's one out there that somebody can, what's the word I'm looking for?
Duplicate.
Well, yeah.
Replicate.
They backwards. Yeah, I forget the word. Sorry, it's late. It's where they break it down instead, and then they can find out how it's made and put it back together.
Right, and make more.
Right. And now the question is, follow my logic, people. She, Little Miss Agent Carter, not Peggy, but her niece, had a guy who could reverse engineer it.
There, okay. Yep.
She made sure he died in that explosion no, he was killed by Baron, what's his name? Baron Zemo.
Yeah.
Okay? But he couldn't have been the only person that she had doing that.
No, not.
She didn't too upset at all that he was gone.
Nope.
So then my question is, does Sharon have someone else who can reverse engineer it and make more super soldier serum, and that play in some big part later on in the MCU?
Because they haven't confirmed a second season of that either, right?
I think they did, actually.
Okay.
I know they confirmed a second season of Loki.
Yeah, I know season 2 of Loki's coming.
Let's take a look. Here's everything you know about the Falcon Winter Soldier. Will continue in Captain America 4.
Well, isn't that the one where they explain Steve going back and returning the stones?
Okay, it says, were there to be a Falcon and Winter Soldier Season 2, we assume its release date would be a ways into the future. Production would take time, but Disney Plus is hungry for all the Marvel shows. We put expectations around 2023, mid-2024.
So we got a ways to go until that comes.
Right. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of...
You know me in rabbit holes, and as I was
we'll be here a while.
I saw somebody else ask a question that just made me giggle. It says, "Are Falcon and Winter Soldier a couple?"
Lord.
I'm like, what? No.
Nope.
The relationship is purely platonic.
Yep. So then you got Loki.
Okay.
You got Loki.
Yes, that's the next in line. Loki, I think, was the best of the 4.
That was your favorite?
Oh, yeah. I think they did a phenomenal job on that.
I did enjoy it. And seeing Tom Hiddleston just get to have a field day with it was it was awesome.
Now, let me preface this by saying I'm an old dude with a lifetime of head injuries So my memory may not be as good. So I'm going to be calling on you to remind me of some things.
Okay.
And here we go. What was the name of the female Loki?
Oh, I forgot. So that's the thing, is I
One too many hockey pucks to the head?
one too many hockey pucks to the head, maybe. More like elbows. Let me see here. I'm loading the Loki cast because she refused throughout the whole thing to even be called Loki.
Right, she was called
Sylvie.
Right. So
Owen Wilson. What's that?
I think that those two made an amazing team and possibly in the future an amazing couple.
Yeah, I think so too. I thought they did great. But you know who also was great? Mobius. I loved Owen Wilson. He fits right in.
You know what his name is in the comics?
No.
Mobius M. Mobius.
I'll be damned. Why? Why
They didn't want to name him anything else. What they did in the comics was the Mobius they had in the comics was an exact caricature of one of the important employees at Marvel.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember if he was an editor or what his position was, but it was like the spitting image in artwork of this guy. So rather than say, give him that guy's name, they just named him Mobius M. Mobius, which I'm assuming the M stands for Mobius, but I don't know.
Mobius.
Right. Now I did like his character.
You could tell like the friendship.
He had the Owen Wilson aloofness.
Yeah, and just to see, like, we see Loki finally have a real friend, right? Because you see in the Thor movies, those weren't really his friends; they were his brother's friends, and he was just kind of there to tag along. Here, he's got a guy that trusts in him and is truly his friend, and it's spoiler, it sucks when he doesn't remember him because of what happens. So, with Kang.
Oh, look at Kang was funny as hell for an
Kang was great. Kang was great.
Now, with Loki and the Time Bureau, the Time Variant Bureau, the TVA.
Yeah. Time Variance Association.
Yeah.
Is that what they were called?
That sounds right.
Time Variance Authority. Time cops.
You notice that some of them started to go, okay, wait, maybe we're wrong.
Yeah. They started questioning things.
Yeah, maybe everything we're told is wrong, except for the judge, who was like, this can't be wrong because this is all I have.
Yeah. She was like a teacher before that or something, right?
That's correct. I believe she was a principal, but she may have been a teacher. But she was loyal not to time itself, but to the Time Lords.
Which in the end were controlled by Kang.
Which in the end were Kang. He was the only one.
He's the only guy.
Others, but I guess they died, and they showed. You remember in that opening scene where they started to go see Kang, there were statues in the foyer, and some of them were broken. One of them had his head, on the ground, to symbolize that they were gone.
Right.
Even after Sylvie chopped the head off of one of the robots and showed it was a robot, Judge was like, "Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
We have to do what the Time Lord told us we have to do."
She likes to follow rules.
To the point where she pruned Mobius.
Yeah.
Which everyone at the time thought meant that she killed him. But we
Right.
found out that pruning means they go to this almost like limbo, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's like
well, and it had like the dragon-like thing.
right.
The smoke.
Right. To keep them in.
To keep them from going anywhere.
Right.
And then we see all the other Lokis.
Best part.
It was Alligator Loki was great. President Loki.
I was, and that little child Loki. I wonder if he's going to show up later on.
You think, like in Loki or all together?
All together. Maybe in Loki, but somewhere, because he was the only one that killed Thor.
Yeah, it's true.
He was the only one. That's why, that's one of the reasons he was pruned, was to kill Thor. So now I understand, and if there's an audience, whenever there's an audience, don't hold this against me, but I don't watch Star Wars. So I understand that vintage Loki was a Star Wars, was in Star Wars, not the character but the actor.
Which one? The older Loki in the show was also in Star Wars. Well, yeah. Let me look.
The last time I saw him, and this is going to age me a little bit or date me a little bit, but the last thing I saw him in was Hudson Hawk.
Yeah, you're talking about Richard Grant. Let's see, who did he? He was in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So where else was he? Was he only in? You're not talking like original Star Wars or older Star Wars. You're just saying Star Wars in general, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was in The Rise of Skywalker. Let's see who was he in? I'm trying to remember who he played, because especially with Star Wars, it's hard to tell when they're not, in the clothes and all that. Pride.
Which is funny because what does it say?
It does. I don't remember that character name. But anyways, he was probably he was one of the bad guys. Never mind. I know who it is. Okay.
It's funny. He played bad guy in Hudson Hawk too. A really jerky bad guy.
That's his thing, I guess. But he was great as classic Loki.
Yeah, he was. I didn't recognize him because the last thing I saw him in was Hudson Hawk, and he had to be maybe in his 30s at the time.
Yeah.
So seeing him as an old man, I was looking at him and going, I know that guy from somewhere. I know that, and then it finally dawned on me that he was like the over the top villain from Hudson Hawk. Him and Sandra Bernhard.
But what was cool to see him do is be a hero.
And that leads me to another question. Yes, he was a hero. Yes, he did disappear in that limbo place. But shortly after that, our heroes, or anti-heroes, killed Kang, the Conqueror. Right. At which point, all these timelines started to sprout out. So, is he alive in another timeline?
He could be. That was the one thing that I was really hoping she wouldn't do it.
Me too, but which kind of left me going at the end, that end scene, scratching my head going, I don't get it. What the hell? Because there was that statue of Kang, and there was Mobius, and I think she was guard 19 or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like the head of the security.
And they both looked at Loki like, who the hell are you and what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, did Loki go on to another timeline? Did he not go back to? Did he somehow leave the timeline he was on?
Yeah.
You know, or did something happen to change the timeline that he was on? And that, but even then, wouldn't that see? This is where timelines get me screwed up, because in Infinity War, they said timelines split off, but you still have the main timeline.
Yeah, an Endgame.
All right. So, if that's the case, then wouldn't Loki have been put back on the main time? That nothing would change the main timeline?
Right. Well, and it's like, I'm jumping from shows here, but what if? Marvel's What If? If you remember, the Watcher put Black Widow in a widowless timeline. Which makes me wonder, is the timeline that Loki was put in, though his friends can't remember him, is that our main timeline where we have to suspect that Loki was killed by Thanos? And now he's replacing that Loki, but now we're in a messed up. Now we have Kang. So,
but then you have the problem of Thor saw Loki die many times, but finally this last time with Thanos. And to see him back to life again, yeah, it wouldn't be a big shock because he's come back to life before. But are they going to remember that he died from Thanos?
I don't know. And Kang warned, and that's the thing that kills me every time. Kang warned about all of it, and she still chose to do it. He didn't lie or deceive about really anything. He just said, "You do this, and you're opening the can of worms." And she opened the can of worms.
This is true. So it left a lot of things for Loki too, but it also kind of opened up a look inside Doctor Strange. Was it
the multiverse, madness of the multiverse, or whatever it's going to be called?
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. So, which, by the way, I haven't seen No Way Home. I still haven't had a chance to. Okay. So we're good.
But the Multiverse of Madness, where all the time, the end of Loki, where all the time branches split off, Wanda has to be in all of them, I believe.
Right.
Or something to that effect. And it set up the Multiverse of Madness. Now, you mentioned What If.
Yeah.
Do you remember the What If with Doctor Strange?
I remember. Yes, where he consumes everything.
Right. The question is, I've seen fleeting moments of stills from the shoot that they're doing, and I'm wondering if his character is going to be a little bit darker and have those things in him because of the What If. Like, is the What If going to pluck him and put him in to the 616?
Maybe, but because our Strange, or at least 616 is Strange, he's fine. It didn't happen that way. He didn't lose the love of his life.
Right. Well, right. Correct. You are correct.
So, where in that one he did, and he tried to change it and fix it, and really paid a price for it. I mean, he makes up for his wrongdoing later in that show, but he lost a lot.
But don't they? At the end, doesn't the Watcher put him in a pocket universe of just him and his true love?
I think so. I think so, maybe.
So that brings us
to have to rewatch it.
That brings us to the main reason we're actually talking about all this, and that's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yes, people, we're going a little long. Deal with it.
Heck yeah, I'd rather be in detail than have more questions.
Hawkeye. Well, everything. It's interesting. This is why I watch the MCU, and a lot of people who stop watching it said it's repetitive, boring, it's this and that. But they leave so many questions with each show, with each movie, that you have to keep following in order to get the answers.
To get the answers to it.
And that brings me to Hawkeye, which we have several questions. Number one, is Echo redeemable?
I think so. Personally, my answer, yes. Because of the ending.
Even though she was brought up by Kingpin.
I think she shows at the end that she's willing to let her past go.
Yeah.
And become something new. Because of that exchange with Hawkeye in the car lot, I think that is where we see her become a redeemable Echo. She didn't want to believe it at first.
In the spirit of that, there has been word of a Hawkeye 2.
Yes. I loved it. That was my favorite thing to watch throughout December.
If there is a Hawkeye 2, do you think that Echo will join Kate Bishop as a team up?
I could see it, but now it's bringing up more questions in my head because of what happened all in Hawkeye. You finally see her name, I always forget, Elena. You see her, and she finally lets go of the grief and the loss. I think she accepts that. Okay, she wasn't murdered.
Well, it's not that she let go of the grief and the loss. She let go of the hatred attached to it.
Yeah.
She took it for what it was rather than trying to find a reason for what it was.
Right, which, kind of going real quick back to super soldiers, that means the Red Guardian's still doing his thing. We got another one out there.
Let me tell you, that would be I would watch that. If the Red
He was great.
If the Red Guardian fought the old super soldier from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Even if they teamed up like two old super soldiers getting to,
I would love that. He was my absolutely. He was my favorite part of Black Widow. Not gonna lie.
And
because I saw him.
The spots between Yelena and Kate Bishop were some of the funniest things.
Oh yeah, they were great. Yeah, you want some macaroni? Like, here's some mac and cheese.
I wouldn't kill you. I could have done that when you first walked in.
Knocked on the door. No, and I think that's another thing. I think they may team up some. Because I don't think Helena's bad.
I would like to see more of her. Although, at the end of Black Widow, which is where she got the assignment to take out Clint Barton.
Yeah.
She was taking the assignment from the Baroness, which also known as Madame Hydra, who I think is working with, this is where it gets all convoluted, who I think is working with Thunderbolt Ross to form the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Which is a fringe hero.
I tried to watch it. There was one night when we played PlayStation instead, but there was a night when I tried to catch just some, because they're not going to remake it. They're going to leave it as is, but it's hard to get my hands on is the Hulk movie.
Which one?
The very first one, the Incredible Hulk. Not the show. I forgot the name of the actor who played him. I'm guessing this was probably around 2005.
Okay, so it's the one that everybody said they hated.
Right, but it's the only one that we got. This is the only one that ties into all of it.
Not the one with Ed Norton. Or
no.
What's his name? Is it Ed Norton?
I think it's Ed Norton. Hold on. Here, I'll do quick.
I know the last name is Norton, but I don't follow.
2008's when it came out, and actually, yeah, it was Ed Norton's Hulk.
Okay, now I saw both of them. I think he did two of them. So I saw both of them. Are you talking about the one where he fought Abomination?
Oh wait, 2000. Yeah, the one that yeah. Here we go. Bruce Banner, Hulk. Oh, it's just called Hulk, 2003.
Now there was one that was made before that with.
Yeah, that was Eric Bana as Bruce Banner.
Right, where
Banner.
Everybody said it was horrible.
Well, yeah, because he had. But hey, Sam Elliott.
Play his dad?
Huh?
Didn't Nick Nolte play his dad?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
But I do think Sam Elliott as Thunderbolt Ross is absolutely, that was a solid choice. Sam Elliott.
It was.
Huh?
Now they have. It was, but now they have someone else playing Ross.
Yeah, I'll go back.
William Hurt.
Yeah, William Hurt. Yeah.
And he's getting up there in age, so I'd like to see them make a Thunderbolts movie quickly.
Right. Yeah, if they're going to do it, they got to do it quick.
Or at least have him, in the very first clip of the movie, hand over the reins to the Thunderbolts to the Baroness and him just sit back out of... so he doesn't have that much screen time, so, it's not that bad. Not that he's a bad actor. I love his acting.
Right.
It's just, I think that they should make a Thunderbolts, and they should put him in a small role. Now, on the discussion of Thunderbolt Ross, will he show up in She-Hulk?
I think so.
Because in the comic books, he later turns into the Red Hulk.
I see. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. And I think Betsy turns into a Hulk as well. Betty.
Yeah, Betty Ross.
And I know that he's been chasing Banner forever. So my question is, is he going to go after She-Hulk? Jessica?
Maybe.
Whatever. What's her name?
Well, and that's the thing with all the Avengers stuff.
Yep.
We don't see a lot of that, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's what's going to be really good about She-Hulk coming out is we're finally getting to kind of see, even if it, I think Mark Ruffalo does a pretty good job as Hulk.
Well, here's the thing. Again, She-Hulk was supposed to come out before
All this stuff.
Before Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Between Loki between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye.
But it got delayed.
Yeah, because of the global pandemic.
Right, like maybe getting it finished.
Which made people scratch their heads at the end of Hawkeye, where he's talking. They're talking to.
You mean Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi.
Oh, was it Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Right.
When Bruce shows up in the sling, because we're like, why isn't he Smart Hulk? Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart Hulk. Yeah. I liked Smart Hulk. I was for that.
There actually was a Smart Hulk in the comics. There were two of them. I know the one was called Joe Fixit.
Okay.
And he was basically the character, except he was a little more like, I hate to use the word ghetto, but he like wore like little flat caps and but he was great. He was actually gray. And,
okay, he's gray.
Yeah, yeah, but he was a Smart Hulk. He could talk. He wasn't Hulk smash everything.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to come out after She-Hulk, which would explain why he's in the cast and not Green. I guess they're going to do that in She-Hulk later.
She-Hulk.
We're just going to have to remember.
Yeah. I liked Hawkeye. What I liked about Hawkeye was, they showed where Kate literally saw Hawkeye, shooting the arrows as he's falling from the building.
Saving the war.
Yeah. And seeing them develop a relationship, it wasn't just good for her. It really was good for him too.
At the end, is he dead?
Hawkeye?
No. Remember the end?
Yeah, I remember yeah, he is. That part. You don't think that part of him is dead?
No. Remember Echo?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think he is. No, I don't think he is.
He comes back blind in the comics.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember looking that up.
I'm assuming they're going to do that again.
And that's what's nice about all the Marvel stuff. They try to put, even if it's not directly, word for word along the comics, they still pull elements from it and try to keep it kind of close at times.
Right. Now here's the kicker. What I found interesting. If they have Kingpin in Hawkeye, which Hawkeye is supposed to be canon in the MCU, and they used Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, does that mean that Wally Cox as Daredevil is canon in the MCU now?
I would say so.
As the same as Jessica Jones and the Punisher and Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
I would say so. Which I granted, I haven't seen those. I've been wanting to. I think I'm going to get my opportunity to binge those through a relative, because I've mentioned that there's shows on there that need to be watched. So I really, really, really want to see with like Daredevil's one. I really want to see. I've seen the movie. I haven't seen the show.
Okay. movie. Let's discuss that for 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Okay.
The movie with Ben Affleck.
Yep.
Good or bad?
Compared to everything else,
Your opinion, yes. Forget about what the critics say. Your opinion.
I liked it, but at the time. Now I think we're at a point where if they were, like, if I saw the show, I'd probably like the show more than the movie.
Now, did you see Elektra?
Yes.
Oh, you haven't seen the new show yet, though, right?
Right.
When you see the show, I want you to keep in mind the movie Elektra, and we'll revisit this, and you tell me who played the better Elektra.
Okay.
No, who better played Elektra.
Okay. Can do that.
Yeah. I never thought that I would, I liked Elektra. Matter of fact, okay, I'm about to admit to a crime here. When it came out, I ripped it and had a DVD of it. I put it on a DVD along with Daredevil and Catwoman with Halle Berry.
Yes.
I believe they all came out around the same time.
Yeah.
So I had them on a DVD. Now I didn't make money off it, didn't sell it, did nothing. I just did it for my own personal use. So don't come looking for me, people. But yeah, it was good. But then when I saw the TV show, I was like, oh my god, she actually pulls it off. I don't know. In my opinion, and don't let my opinion sway you, but in my opinion, the Elektra in the show is better than the Elektra in the movie. Although they both have
I'll keep that in mind.
They both have their own pluses. I just feel that if I was going to watch something, I would want to watch this new Elektra. I forget her name, but she's a great. She pulled the part off beautifully.
Okay.
And
I'll keep that in mind, and I'll go in there with open-mindedness.
Yeah, and just to let you know, there was a one take scene, not a one take scene, a one camera scene, where they didn't do any cuts or anything. It was a one camera shot in the TV show that was phenomenal. And I don't know how else to explain it other than when you watch it, look for the hallway scene. And
okay.
When we revisit it, you can tell me what you thought of that scene. And it's very hard to do a one camera shot. Of course, you know me, I go down rabbit holes all the time. And one of the things I found was it took them between 6 and 8 hours to do that one scene. But it was a one take, one camera. They had to get it all in one take. They didn't edit anything, so they had to get the perfect take. They did it with one camera, and they had to. That's why it took 8 hours, because any slightest mistake, you got to start over again. And you got to start over from the beginning. You can't start over from the mistake because there's no cuts.
Yeah.
So yeah. So keep your eye out
Just
for
take
that.
the time.
That was an interesting thing that they did. Now, getting back to Hawkeye. We have a very important dangler.
Yeah.
And the assumption is that his wife is supposed to be Mockingbird.
See, I didn't know the name, but I knew there was that whole. She used to be a part of Shield.
Well, did you ever watch the TV show Shield?
Like Agents of Shield?
Yes.
I haven't seen all of it. I think I've seen about 2 seasons. Because I didn't get to finish it when I had access to it last time.
2 seasons. I think 2 seasons is too short.
Yeah,
There's a character comes in later called Bobby Morse.
okay.
She is actually Mockingbird.
Okay.
But, which is kind of confusing because Coulson was in the MCU. And Coulson was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the
Right.
stories laughed. So if Bobby Morse was Mockingbird, then how is Hawkeye's wife Mockingbird? Unless
Do they list her as Mockingbird?
no, but that's what Agent 19 is. Remember the 19 on the back of the watch?
Yeah.
That's Mockingbird. If you just type in Agent 19 into your Google search, it'll come up as Mockingbird.
Okay.
And that watch was important to her, but they never actually said why, and the assumption is because she's Agent 19.
Okay.
So was she
Different
Agent 19?
actresses, I take it?
Adrian Palicki played Bobby Morse,
Okay.
and so the question is was Hawkeye's wife the original Agent 19, and Bobby took it over later?
Possible.
They kind of leave that as a dangler, going, we're not going to tell you yet, but we may or we may not.
Well, it's just hard when you have. Did they finish Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or did it get canceled? They did finish it.
It got canceled, and then they said screw it, and they finished it.
Well, yeah, because with this stuff, you don't want to leave stuff hanging.
I believe it went 7 seasons.
Okay. Yeah, I mean either in season 2 or 3.
Okay. Then I won't go into any details.
Right.
You really should watch. One of my favorite characters in the later seasons is a character called Enoch.
Enoch.
Enoch. Enoch.
Yeah, Enoch. Okay.
Yeah.
And I love Coulson. I can't wait to find out more about Coulson.
Wait.
Just leave it there. Let me find out on my own. But
Oh, I am. I'm just thinking. There's a character that is in the later seasons that he's pretty funny. He's pretty stupid. If you were to look at him, you would not associate him with his parents. Let's just leave it at that.
leave it at that. Okay.
So Hawkeye ended
Yep.
with Kate having her mother arrested.
Yeah, which I thought was awesome. I was like, good for you.
Echo doing
After-
something she can't come back from.
Nope. And that was warned, and she did it anyway.
And Clint bringing Kate home for Christmas.
Was awesome. And they and grilling the suit,
Is
setting it
that-
on fire.
Yeah, well, that too, but the Ronin suit. But
Right. I wasn't going to spoil it, but
is this going to be the beginning of her training with Clint?
I think
Like,
so.
The progression of her training, because she does have skills, but she's very
She's still young, and she can still learn a lot more from him.
right. She has skills, she just doesn't have the temperament yet.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what you said before, because you brought up, I remember us talking about it one day, brought the question up, Young Avenger. Is she going to become a Young Avenger now that she's entered the picture? Because I guess in comics she was a Young Avenger.
That's correct.
So
Her
It,
and I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe Yelena may have been a Young Avenger. I know Kate. Here's the story. Kate was for the Young Avengers. She was an in and out character. She
okay.
didn't officially join them, but she started helping them, and then they kind of adopted her. And not, I
Okay.
don't mean adopted her like you're my daughter, but adopted her.
Right, adopted her into the system. Yeah.
Right, right. I don't remember if Yelena was. I think she might have been in the Thunderbolts.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look.
Um, at the end. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite parts was when she called the. She said, somebody asked her what's the dog's name, and she said Lucky.
Yeah.
Because during the whole time they just called it Pizza Dog.
Yeah.
And in the comic books, Clint had a one-eyed dog named Lucky.
And so they tied that in too.
So yeah, so now her dog is called Lucky, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet, and it'll stay there. So in a way, it's Clint's dog too. So
Right,
because like that's become her family now.
Right. Which is again pretty cool. Now, do you think any of his kids are going to get into the crime fighting business?
I think the daughter.
He was teaching his daughter how to shoot.
I think the daughter might. Well, she's got the wit about her too. The boys, they're not as into it.
Right.
They're more living normal life.
As much as they can, because I believe now I could be wrong, but I believe his youngest is deaf or has a hearing impairment.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
I couldn't figure that out if he was doing it because his dad was hard of hearing or if they were doing it because he
right.
had.
Right. They never really addressed that.
No,
Although
no.
they did make it quite obvious that they have to keep a special eye on him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because he was the youngest or if it's because he's disabled.
But you can tell Clint's really losing his hearing. Without that aid, he has trouble.
Right, which I thought was a very heartwarming scene was when he took the hearing aid out and he went to the memorial that had Black Widow's name on it, and he just told her how much he loved her and how much he missed her. And I was like, somebody put dust in the road.
Yeah.
But
who left that bowl of onions laying around?
I'm not crying, you're crying. But yeah, that was a really good, really cool scene. I'd like to see how this all comes out over the next year. Now, there is a couple movies I have not seen yet, or have not come out yet. Well, two movies that came out that I have not seen yet. One of them is The Eternals.
January 12th. Actually, in 3 days, you can see that on Disney Plus.
And the other one is No Way Home.
That one is. I've heard good things. Friends have made sure not to spoil it, but I've heard good things. So you gotta find a way to see that one.
Real quick before we switch to Bungie for a short spell.
Hmm.
You saw Far From Home?
I haven't seen. Okay, I've seen Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies, and that's it. I haven't seen was his name Andrew Garfield. I haven't seen his, and I haven't seen Tom Holland's outside of him being in the Avenger movies.
Okay.
So I've been trying to catch up. I also haven't seen Venom.
Really?
I have not seen either Venom.
So you didn't see Venom or Let There Be Carnage?
Mm-mm. Nope. I have quite a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah,
No, you're fine.
That's just someone. Just reply. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I have to. Yeah. Okay. So when do you think that you'll be seeing the new Spider-Man, the Homecoming and Far From Home?
Yeah, I'm going. I was looking on, I believe it was Amazon Prime. I can watch them from, and I was going to rent them out. They're like $2 or $3, I think. I was going to just go ahead
Let
and do
me
that.
let me know what you think of the villain in Far From Home,
Okay.
and not just of the villain of the character, but of the way that the actor pulls it off, whether it's good, bad,
Okay.
or ugly. Okay, so we are running super long, so let's delve right into Destiny and Bungie.
Okay. Works for me.
Next week is your favorite time of the month.
Season reset?
Nope, Iron Banana.
Iron Banana. Oh boy.
Hmm. Now, you didn't finish your Vanguard stuff, but you finished the Crucible?
Yeah, I mean, I could do like a match or two and get the exotic engram, but
Okay,
that's all wrapped up.
but you're still shooting for that. You just have one more.
Yeah, maybe a game or two of Crucible.
Well, okay, well, did you get the ornament from Crucible?
Yeah, that's done.
Have
It's
you done?
just Vanguard,
Okay,
which I think I hit rank 10 earlier,
okay.
so I'm getting there.
Now, if you had your choice, would you run the dungeon or the game? The game show or the dungeon?
Game show.
Game show or the vault? Seeing how
I
you're
love,
already Vex.
even though I already have the Vex, I enjoy our weekly raids in the vault. I just enjoy playing it. It's still a challenge. We still have to. It's still teamwork. I like vault. Deepstone Crypt. I just can't get into Deepstone Crypt.
Huh. Yeah, I know. I noticed that when you were dead for the entire boss.
Yeah, first time in there, and it was towards the end, and nope. I don't like that boss fight. Even knowing it now, I mean, we haven't practiced it anymore since stuff, and it's not my favorite raid.
Right.
I know I haven't done as many as a lot of folks because of the hiatus, but Vault is it's familiar, it's good, I like it. I'm excited for Witch Queen, of course.
Yeah, me too.
I think a lot of fun is going to come out of it.
I want to see what happens when she comes out.
Me too. I'm ready for the scenes to happen to lead into it.
Now, this is what I want to talk about. Is some people are saying that there may be a live event switching over, like we had when we weren't playing at the time, but there was a live event where they vaulted all the planets, or most of the planets, and some people are thinking there's going to be a live event on the switchover sometime. And that they're going to start the story around the 8th of February. Does that sound right?
Okay, so in about a month.
Yeah, I just want to. Yeah, the 8th is a Tuesday, so they're going to start it on the 8th, run it for 2 weeks, and on the eve of the 21st, going into the 22nd, there's going to be another live event.
Okay, I won't be here for that one. I'll be here for the first one. That's the only downside.
Sucks to be you.
It sucks to be me, but I will be traveling.
Um, Now, any idea what they're going to do with the skulls? The 7 skulls that were
I, besides them being an Easter egg and just making those little references, I'm not sure they're going to have much more to them than that.
You're starting to break up and choppy again.
Am I?
Okay. Yeah.
Am I good
you're
now?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Lake of Shadows. Somebody found I hate to say it, shortcut
Mm-hmm.
um, to get directly to the boss
Really?
by going a certain way and maneuvering certain things. And I don't want to give out too much because I don't want everyone to take advantage of it. You can end up at the boss fight.
Just pretty much right away.
Yeah. Also, Frank told me this,
Okay.
that I believe there's a shortcut on, I want to say there's a shortcut on the dungeon.
Really?
The new,
Yeah, the new dungeon.
but I'd have to check with Frank
With him.
to find out, because I know that there were 2 shortcuts that we became aware of, and one of them is you have to go off the map. I remember what it was. It was you go off the map, and there's this boss, this knight. You kill the knight, and yeah, I sound like an old man battling, but he said you go off the map, find the knight, kill the knight, and it basically finishes it.
What? No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, when he's around,
He'll have to show us, because that just that's pretty amazing if it does all that. Because I mean, that is not a short dungeon. It does take a minute, even once you've figured everything out. It takes a minute.
Now,
So
once this season is over, do you suspect that Bungie is going to still sell some of the rewards from this season, or at the end of the season does that all stop?
they may for a little while, but it's like the previous seasons. If you notice, if you find them, you can still find them. But I mean, it's not easy to find any of that stuff. But as far as selling it, I still think there's only certain items that they're going to sell. So a lot of stuff, if you don't get it before the end, you might be SOL.
Like in my inventory, I still have that little, I don't know what you call it, little icon thing that says it's for the hoodie.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with that other than, am I just supposed to go buy the hoodie and it disappears?
Are you talking about the track jacket?
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's in my inventory. It's a little blue square with some design on it. It says you've earned this thing. It's either the jacket or a hoodie, and it's in my inventory.
Huh.
I'm just wondering if I have to go to the store and buy it, and then that'll disappear from my inventory, or is that something that I have to click on and it gives me a special code? I haven't messed with it yet because I wasn't sure if I wanted the jacket, but I definitely don't want that sitting in my inventory all day.
Well, no. Yeah, let's here in a little bit. Let's take a look at that, you and I, and we'll see what the deal is with that.
All right, and the other thing I don't know if you're aware of is if you're in the game. I don't know if it works for all PvE or just the game show. but I know it works in the game show. If someone on your fire team has the Gallahorn equipped, no matter what rocket launcher you have equipped, it will come with Wolfpack rounds.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty handy.
Yes.
And you've had bringing up the game show Dares of Eternity. You think that Xur is fake?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think he's fake, and what's your evidence?
Xur only comes around once a weekend. Once on the weekends.
Right.
He does it in remote areas. He doesn't like to draw attention to himself. And he has a almost sinister quality to his voice. Then you go to the game show and he's Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky.
Right.
And he's right in the middle of everything. And it just seems like this is either not Xur that we know, but maybe it's like Xur 7 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is from the Nines. He could be,
being from the 9, and you got to remember, like, it's not like Cade 6. Cade 6 is only the 6 because that's the number of exos, right? So that's his 6th body that he's been in. That finally just worked, I guess. I've thought about it since you and I originally talked about it. What if Xur has a tie into Savathun? That Xur. Not our Xur, but game show fake happy-go-lucky Xur. What if this is also an illusion from Savathun?
Well, he does say when you start it that it is a world of illusion that he's taking you to.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything's possible. Now, here's something that you brought up that made me think for a second. You said Cade 6 is 6 because that's the 6th body he's had.
From what I understand, and if someone wants to correct me, they can.
That brings up a little bit of an issue because he's an exo.
Right.
And 6 because of the 6th body. But Banshee is Banshee 44 because his brain has been reset 44 times.
Right. Well, maybe that's what the 6 stands for. He's been reset 6 times. Then.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I pointed it out to you earlier that I would not be surprised if Clovis Bray makes his own little appearance in the near future either, and not as an AI head.
On the side of his grand,
as his own exo.
Yeah, but on the side of his great granddaughter, or on the evil side.
No, he'll be evil. I think he's going to be a villain.
Will he be sporting the light or the dark? Because in the upcoming season, even villains can
have light.
The light.
I think he'll wield light. I think he'll be a guardian, but he's not going to be a good one.
I personally think he'll wield the darkness because that's what his vendor, what the stranger did to begin with.
Yeah.
And he overcome it, but he saw how she was evil before she overcame it. And this is just my brain thinking. He went, oh, that's kind of attractive. I would like to do that.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong because he is power hungry. And she's made that very clear. Like, he was a control freak. So.
Now, somebody said, how come we're friends with the people, with the fallen in the tower, but yeah,
the
we're
Elixni
in like the game show? And my theory is because the Elixni are a different branch of fallen than the ones that we were finding out in the wild.
Right. Well, an Elixni, the Elixni are house light. They believe in the traveler and everything, and I think they've probably started to get exposed a little bit to the light again.
Okay.
We might start seeing them all take their true form, which is what the captains look like. That's supposed to be a healthy Elixni, right?
Right, but my question is, do you think
But those,
that's going to happen, or do you think that we're going to drop the Elixir storyline altogether when the Witch Queen comes out?
I don't think we're going to drop it. I don't think it's going to go away. I think they're going to be there to help. Like Mithrax, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Okay.
I don't think they have their own agenda. I speculated on it, but Future War Cult happened to that and killed that. So, at least for now.
Last rumor I want to address before the end of the cast.
Okay.
There's a rumor that someone in the Supreme Trilogy is going to die.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any truth to it, if there's any factual things to back this idea up. But I will say that if this person were to be removed, it would create a vacuum, but in the same sense it would, because they're not really being utilized the way they should.
I think I know who you're talking about, and I agree that they might do that because that person's become more of a diplomat than really involved.
Right. I mean,
So,
we don't even really utilize them in any way on any planet or in any tower or in anything. There's really
no use.
no purpose.
Yeah.
Now,
Unless they're hiding something from us. They could hide something and surprise us.
Or they make this person more purposeful during the Witch Queen. Because we still have to find Osiris and bring him back to the, I hate to say this as a Star Wars term, but bring him back to out of the dark side into the light side.
Yeah.
But
well, and I think we'll see Osiris return good. Now that we know that.
I think that this person is going to play an integral part in finding him and bringing him back to his senses.
I agree.
So I don't know how much credence I would give to the rumor that individual is going to die or be written off, taken out of the game.
Being written off. One thing I want to know is who's going to step up and be the Hunter Vanguard.
Well, I think that we've established sort of, kind of, that Drifter is the Hunter is the new,
Is he a hunter?
I think he is.
Okay.
I think he is. I could be wrong.
So I thought he was, we see him work with the Stranger and Eris Morn kind of as a fire team at one point.
If anyone is to step up and take Kate's place, I would like to see it be. Go ahead, take a guess.
I would think Crow.
Amanda
Holiday?
Yeah.
You think? But she's not a Guardian, is she?
I don't know. I know that she's done. She's fought alongside Kate 6 before.
Right. I don't think she's a Guardian, though.
I think that something's going on with Crow, where he's now starting to realize who he was and who he is, and he's walking a tightrope between the two,
trying to find which way he wants to go.
Right. Does he want to be loyal to the Vanguard and to people in the tower, or does he want to be loyal to his sister, or is his sister loyal to the people in the tower?
Right.
You know, so it's
There's
going
a
to be
lot.
interesting to see how things unfold over the next month, next 7 weeks.
I agree.
So, with that being said, PJ,
Yes, card.
we'll find you.
What's that? Where
We'll find you.
you can find us on PlayStation? Me? Like social network wise?
Sure, on PlayStation,
PlayStation, yeah. Pepperjack615.
Discord.
Discord, I believe it's also Pepperjack615. I don't know the little hashtag stuff. I'm still learning Discord. Bear with me. I'll get that situated. What's that?
I say cool. We could use more people in the clan. The clan's name
Absolutely.
of the clan is Hell's Executioners.
Yeah.
You can find me. I'm on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation in general, the PlayStation Network, under CardCon1, the number 1, not written down. I'm also on Twitch under CHP Gaming
That's us.
and on something else, but I forgot. Oh, and you can always find me.
Discord.
Discord, CardCon1 at, I believe it's
All right.
5234. The hashtag.
I want to say mine's like 6039, something like that.
I'll tell you right now what mine is.
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Nope, I was wrong. Mine is CardCon1 hashtag 3457.
Nope, mine changed to Pepperjack615 hashtag 2406.
All right, so that wraps up another week of friendly conversations, livecast on
Woo!
yes, on YouTube.
Another successful week.
Yeah, another one under the belt. You know, we have is 300 or 50 more to go for this year.
Let's go.
We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so that's it. Take care, everybody, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your loved ones.
Tell your loved ones, loved ones.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. See you, folks.